What's happening, HC Nation? Zach Edwards here with another Stump the Creator from Historical Conquest. Oops, let's start here. Historical Conquest. So my name is Zach Edwards, and I am the creator of this game. Now, if you don't know me, I created this back in, college, because I left high school disliking history and how it was taught, and I knew there had to be a better way of having fun with history. So in college, I just designed this game, and then my wife, which I just got married, wisely told me to put away the game and go get a real job. So that's what I did. 10 years later, I brought it back, and that was 7 years ago. Now we have a huge fan base, and every once in a while, different players send in their requests to try to stump me. So this one is by Caleb K. So Caleb, thanks so much for inserting this question or asking this question. I might, if I have time, add another one from Luke, who, if you know, in the last Stump the Creator, actually stumped me, but he didn't know it until well afterwards. You'll find out why. So go back to that one. That was a few days ago. Okay, Caleb's first questions. Well, he actually says, I have 6 questions. Question number 1. With the 1.0 version of Grigori Yefimovich Rasputin, so just Rasputin, he says that he can only be killed if you attack the land or a Tsar is played. What is considered a Tsar? Does the card actually have to say Tsar anywhere on it? No, actually it does not. If you know Ivan the Terrible, Ivan the Terrible, Ivan was a Tsar, but I don't think his card actually says it. So those are the leaders of Russia, or what came before Russia. And so these are great questions. And like in all questions, all abilities, no, not all abilities, a lot of abilities, you have to know the history behind it. It might say a spiritual leader. And if it's lowercase s, as in spiritual leader, any broad question, then it could be any spiritual leader that you might play. So it could be William Penn, who was not, he was a spiritual leader, but he was not classified in the game as a spiritual leader. I think he was a businessman, because he was a businessman. He could have been a spiritual leader as well, but in the game we played him as a businessman. But if they have capital letters before the character, so it's like leader with a capital L, then it's a leader on the card. If it says spiritual leader and it's S, capital L, then it's a spiritual leader, the category of cards. So just let that out. So a Tsar, though, is not going to say in those categories. It's going to say in the actual history. Let me see if I can actually find Ivan. So let's see. Actually, I don't even, nope, there he is. Ivan the Terrible. Ivan the Terrible, son of Vasily III, the Grand Duke of Moscow, was the first Tsar of Russia. So I guess it does actually say it there. But it does actually have to be a Tsar, an actual Tsar from Russia. Okay, so does the card actually have to be a Tsar anywhere on it? No, it does not. You just have to have the history. Okay, moving on to question number 2. In version 1.0 version of the American Revolutionary says, I do not suffer any effects of losing. Does that mean I don't suffer any negative effects of losing when I attack or when I attack and defend? Okay, let us go to 1.0. Nope, this is 2.0. 1.0 of the American Revolution. So it is an event, American Revolution. It says your opponent must win at least 2 attacks before you suffer any negative effects or losses. So it actually does say there that your opponent must win at least 2 attacks, their attacks. So if they're not attacking, you can't claim that. Okay, so if you're attacking them, it does not apply. Okay, so that's the answer to that one. Question number 3. What happens if one card doubles another card, okay, which then quadruples another card? For example, what if the invention of Microscope doubles George Washington Carver, then who then Quadruples, version 1.0 of James Weldon Johnson. Okay, let's go to James Weldon Johnson 1.0. James Weldon Johnson. James Weldon Johnson. Oh, shoot. Which card is James Weldon Johnson? I know you're all yelling at me, this one! That doesn't help because I'm on this side and you're on that side. James Weldon Johnson. I'll find out in just a minute. He wants it. Actually, is he a rare card? Why don't I remember that name? Johnson. He was a politician, wasn't he? James Weldon Johnson. Why are those cards different backwards? No, I think I was thinking of Joseph Joseph Hines Reigns. Okay. Oh man, what is this card? James Weldon Johnson. He wasn't a politician. Why can't I remember this right now? Here, James. Here, James. Where are you? Still looking. James Weldon Johnson. Are you trying to stump me by giving me the wrong name or giving me the surname? If it's the surname, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. Okay, but still looking. I thought he was a leader, but he wasn't a leader, or at least couldn't find him in the leaders. That's why I'm looking. Maybe I have it out of order. Haha, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to search him out. You're not going to stump me. I'm going to find him. James Weldon Johnson. Ah, author. Ah, I had that. That was the second place I looked. Because that's what I thought. Yeah, there he is. Gee whiz. I don't know how. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the slowness there. James Weldon Johnson. Johnson brings hope to blacks. Increase your morale 200 for each character of African descent currently in play for you, including Johnson. Okay. Yes, it does. Yeah, you're allowed to quadruple an ability. But if it says that you double something else, no, you can't do that. You only go up to 4. 4 is the max you can do. And then if you do Weldon Johnson and you have 2 people, well, actually, you get 200 for each African American. So you have it for him. And then 4 times it, yeah, you'd have 800 morale points right there. But say you had 2, what is that? I said African descent. 2, that would give you 400 points. You can't quadruple that because it's only up to 800. That's the morale max. Okay, there you go. So there's your question. Wow, sorry that took so long. Next one, is dying the same as discard? Yes, but you can be discard for different reasons, not just dying. For example, someone plays a gunfire at OK Corral and kills the 1.0 version of Pablo Picasso. Do I then gain 500 morale points? Yes, you do. Yeah, straight up, you get them. Yeah, because it's either getting discarded or killed. Either way, you get to claim that. The Globe Theater says you may enjoy duplicate positive effects of all events and entertainers. Events and entertainers. What does positive effects mean? So if an entertainer gives you something, makes it a good thing for you, that is a positive effect. So as an example, we're going to say, let's go to the artists, recently known as artistes. So there. So we have something like increase your morale by 300 points. That's a positive effect. So duplicates your positive effect. You may use any/all your opponent's technology cards. Now that's if it's played after that, because if it's an I and a 1, you don't get to duplicate it because it's already been used. So that ability's been gone. So any one of the artists, or sorry, entertainers, not artists. Oh, good point there. It does actually have a capital letter. So it would be not the artists. It'd be someone like Charlie Chaplin, who gives you 100 morale every turn until you hit 2,000. Then it would be 200 morale. Not until you hit 400 or 4,000. It's till you hit 2,000. That stays in place. But you actually do get 200 points for every turn. Or with the geisha, you get 100 morale points. You play step in fetch it, then you get 200 morale points, and you duplicate it. So there you go. Okay, question number 6. What does once mean on the card? Once means you can use it only one time. For example, the invention of the microscope says once, double the effects of any scientist. Okay, you can double the effects of any scientist one time. So it's not an ongoing thing, it's just that one time. If it's a elongated thing, it's not a constant. You can only use it one time. So if it's something that the person gets a constant effect, you get to double that one time. So the next turn, it doesn't apply to that because you only use it one time. Did you get that? I think I said it. Maybe I need to say it again. One time. Okay, but it also says in the yellow circles that it is a constant. Yep. So if you look at the microscope, and I've explained this a few times, with a microscope or anyone else, I think it's microscope. Maybe this one does not have it. Go into the microscope. Where is my microscope? There it is. Once, double the effects of any scientist. Darn, that is a typo because there's actually supposed to be more information there. It's supposed to say constant such and such. So let me make sure that that one is addressed. Making a note of that. Microscope. And as I said before, I don't, errors in the cards are not stumps. They're errors. So once and constant. The constant is missing. I do not know why. So I will check into that just for you. So Caleb, thank you so much for sending those questions. One last question. This one's for Luke. It says the 1.0 U.S. House of Representatives reads, if your opponent's morale fall below 0 for 2 rounds, you win. If your opponent plays the Senate card, this card must be discarded. Got it. Okay. Player 1 plays the U.S. House of Representatives. If player 2 plays the Senate card and player 1 interrupts and destroys it, say CIA, is the House of Representatives discarded, even though the Senate card's abilities never happened? Okay. Let's go to the actual card itself. So 2.0 House of Representatives. Oh, no, it says 1.0 House of Representatives. We might have to clarify this by using both. Let's see, organization. Okay. U.S. House of Representatives, where are you? Okay. If your opponent's morale falls below 0 for 2 rounds, you win. If your opponent plays the Senate card, this card must be discarded. Okay, if your opponent plays the card, which makes me think that if he's played it, doesn't mean if it's interrupted. The abilities don't get to be used because you're interrupting the abilities. The card itself is being played. There is, I think, one card out there that says before it is even played. So it basically means, well, and I think that's, you have to get into your hand. Because as soon as it's played, it's played. We're going to get some clarification from 2.0, though I think that answers the question. I just want to see if this is the same in 2.0 as well. So right before there we go. U.S. House. Okay, if your opponent's morale falls below 0 for 2 rounds, you win. If your opponent plays a Senate card, this card must be discarded. So same exact thing. Doesn't matter if it's 1.0 or 2.0, they're the same thing. And if they play the card is played. You didn't get to, you're not interrupting that he actually played the card. You're interrupting that he can use the abilities. So thank you for asking that in-depth question, because that's pretty in-depth. So great job. Thanks guys for watching, and we will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow actually. Take care. Bye.